Hey guys, this is Dr. Rachel Shumate at Cornerstone Physical Therapy. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about some of the things that cause numbness and tingling down your arms. Pretty common to have this come into the clinic. A lot of times people think that as soon as you've got something going down the arm, it's related to nerves. And they'll say it's coming from your neck. Sometimes that's true, sometimes it's not. So if you were thinking about an actual nerve-related issue kind of coming from the neck or something that's in the arm that's being impinged or closed off or something different related to arthritic changes, or maybe there's disc bulging, pretty common degenerative things that happen in the spine. The segments of the spine and the neck that correlate to these on the drawing here are typically where you may feel those symptoms of numbness or tingling or pain. So this is regarding, because a lot of times people will come in and they'll say, oh, the doctor says I have a pinched nerve. Well, that might be true. But a lot of times it's usually coming from a muscle, and the muscle could have been tight and caused a pinched nerve, or it might just be a muscle that's been overtasked or overused for something, or maybe you even just slept wrong. So for an example, here's some referred pain. Sorry, let me go back to the organs. Organ-wise, we see this sometimes, but we'll get to the muscles in a second. But organ-wise, we see once in a while there's a little bit of pain going down the arms. I don't see this that much. I think I've seen probably 5 cases of organs causing pain versus muscles or nerves, so I don't really see this that much. Just want to touch on it, but the most that I see is muscle pain that's got some symptoms going down the arm. Sometimes I'll see people that have they're diagnosed with carpal tunnel syndrome, and they actually don't have it. They have trigger points in their rotator cuff instead. And so the rotator cuff is in this picture here. You've got 4 of the muscles. There's one on the shoulder blade that is usually one of the big culprits, and sometimes it can create numbness and tingling down the arm, sometimes in the hand. I have a lot of people that will wake up and their hands, they'll sleep kind of curled up like this, and their hands will go numb. Or they sleep with one arm under the pillow, kind of like, I guess kind of like this. I don't know if you guys can see me, but where your arm is stuck under the pillow and then you wake up and your hand is numb. Or they sleep with the head tipped really far to the side. So any of that could technically be nerve related, but more often than not, it's a lot of times trigger points in the shoulder, trigger points in the neck. And so if you can see where the red is in these photos, that's where these muscles refer to. So here's another example of referred pain patterns. These are all muscles. So you've got muscles in the chest, muscles in the deltoid, muscles in the shoulder, like the deltoid, the bicep. You've got your lats that are kind of over on the side here. You've got several other just big muscles in the back that can refer pain down the arm. So there's a lot that goes down the arm. And when people come in, they say, oh, I have arm pain. It's not just like, hey, let me look at your shoulder. I've got to look at your neck. I've got to look at your rotator cuff. We're looking at everything up and down the chain, down to the hands. So if you look on the right here, you've got all the trigger points in the forearm that go to the hands as well. So it's not just, you might have nerve pain. A lot of times we get nerve pain that's really not nerve pain. It's more often than not trigger points. And those trigger points tend to develop if you are stuck in a position for too long. For example, right now I've got a mom that was just in here, and she's breastfeeding, and she's having to hold the baby kind of in this really awkward rounded position, and she's getting pain down her arm because of that. And I turn around and I poke right on like her infraspinatus, this posterior rotator cuff muscle, and it sends it down the arm. So it's not necessarily coming from the neck and from the nerves. A lot of times it can come down from the rotator cuff or any other muscles in the arms. Let me see if I got anything else on here. But one of the things that you can do, can you close that out for me, is if you have some of those symptoms going down the arms or even in the hands, try to kind of poke around on some of those muscles. I usually give people like a tennis ball. If they feel pain going down the arm and into the hand, the first muscle I typically look at is that one that's on the shoulder blade, kind of right there. So you can take a tennis ball, put it in a sock, kind of throw it over your shoulder and find that shoulder blade muscle and see if that's a sore spot. You can massage it out, kind of work on trigger point release for a couple minutes in there to see if it helps loosen it up. Usually, a lot of construction guys have issues in the forearms, so they'll have issues of pain kind of going down the hand, but they end up getting kind of like the lateral epicondylitis, if you want the fancy word, and it's all these muscles right here because they're constantly doing things like, you know, hammering, screwing, just using their hand all the time for construction, and so you can get referred pain down the arm from those. So even just kind of massaging in through there and doing some of the motions that those muscles do. So you find a sore spot and you kind of wiggle your fingers around, find another one, wiggle them around. But those are some different things that cause pain down the arms. You've got organs. I don't see that a ton in the outpatient clinic. Like I said, maybe 5 cases in the last 3 years or so. You've got the nerves in the neck, which is not as common with what we're seeing, but we definitely see tons of trigger points that have issues of numbness and tingling down the arm. So just because it's going down the arm, and it's the same idea in the leg, you've got all the trigger points that can refer pain down the legs, not necessarily sciatic. It could be like a glute trigger point. So just because you have numbness and tingling going down, don't immediately, oh my God, my nerves are out, you know, like I've got a pinched nerve or whatever, because there's all kinds of muscles that refer in there that can create that too. So if you got any questions about this, or you feel like you have a pinched nerve, or you've got, you know, an aggravated rotator cuff or anything that's given that numbness and tingling into the arm, you know, you can call and schedule. And our phone number's here. You have questions, you can post them in the comments below and we'll answer them as much as we can. Thank you. Have a good one.